Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here in Boulder Canyon. And we're on the new computer. I have made the switch to my new PC, and I am hoping that this tractor will do what I want it to. Okay, well that's a grand start, isn't it? That is a grand start. Let's go to there. I'm hoping that it will turn left at the end of the row. That's what we need it to do. It was refusing to do that earlier. It was absolutely flat out refusing to turn left, which is a bit of a problem. Now, I also had a stump that was up here that I haven't actually remembered to go and look for. I feel I can be excused because of doing all of my other work, changing over the PC and everything. So I do feel that I'm excused on that front. What I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this one right here. I'm going to leave it there so that we can come back and we can get it later. And then I'm going to go back and I'm going to get the baler, and hopefully I will be able to do something with that tractor down there. And he is going to turn the wrong way. Of course he is. Why wouldn't he? Because that is the only direction he ever wants to turn. Literally the only thing he ever wants to do, isn't it? Like, I had it there before. It was doing this last time. So now I'm going to move it over here. And the only way I'm going to be able to do this, I think, is I'm not going to be able to do it like this. I think I'm going to have to put it going down here like this. And then what we're going to need to do is we need to get the other tractor, and we're going to need to bail up that line down there so that it turns in the other direction. Because otherwise it's just not going to do it. It's going to keep turning left. It is going to keep trying to turn towards us over here. I don't know why it's doing that. Whether it's something to do with the size of the field or something like that. But yeah. I was also told that I need to enable the developer mode so that then I can see the wire mesh in under the map, so that I can detect where the problem is with which way you're going now. He's doing it at last. Finally, he's going the right way. Miracles never cease. Yeah, we were hoping. I need to enable the developer commands or console or whatever it is, so that then I can have a look at the wire mesh in underneath, and I can identify if there are any stumps left up on that hill. So I will do that. Hopefully, I will remember to do it before the week is out. If not, then obviously I'm not going to remember to do it, and I will have to try and do it another time. Something that I would just like to say is that I am now on the new PC. Most of you will be aware of this by this point. So there's new settings and setting up that I'm having to deal with. It should be in 4K, so, well, I believe it's in 4K. So the quality should have improved. However, if there are issues with sound, with view, with video quality, with any of it, that are not like you're used to, try to let me know exactly what the issue is and what's going on with it, and I will do everything in my power to make it right. I do not want this to mess up the quality of the videos. I'm hoping that it will have improved the quality of the videos, so I definitely don't want it to make anything worse. So hopefully you will have some good quality videos to watch, and the quality will stay good quality. But yeah, if there's any issues with sound levels in the games, because for some reason it's now like my sound feedback that I'm getting from everything is completely different. I had a whole load of settings on the last PC, and I've tried to copy those settings over, but it's absolutely not doing it. It's not giving me the same settings at all in any way, shape or form. It's kind of just adapted itself and giving itself new settings. So I'm not quite sure why. So I'm trying to make sure the sound levels that you can hear are similar to what they were previously. And if they're not, let me know. I will do whatever I can to try to correct it. But it could take a bit of time. While I just sort of tweak the different videos over the next couple of weeks, Just bear with me. I will do whatever I can to make sure that the sound levels are perfect and doing everything they should be doing. Anyway, let's not worry too much about it just yet. I can't do anything about it today, so I've said my bit. You get into the comment section, tell me if you've got problems, yada yada yada, and I will do what I can. So what we want to do is we want to get this baler going, and, well, keep this baler going. I want to keep this baler going flat out until I have finished this field. As soon as I finish this field, I'm going to put the seed drill onto this tractor, and we're going to go up, we're going to start planting grass. And I want to get the little strip across the middle planted out, and then the strip around that big stone planted out, and then a couple passes right around the edge of the fields, all done. And then I will set the standard hide help going and just leave it to keep planting that field with grass. We want the whole thing planted all the way over with grass. Once that's done, then I will move back down here and I will plant this field as well. This field is going to be planted with oats, but I want to get the grass done first. So while that's doing all of that grass up there, we will most likely work on clearing a few of the trees down that end so that we can keep all of that. We've also got animals to tidy up. We've got wool that we're going to want to sell at some point, although it's not ready for, the wool's not ready for being sold just yet. And a few other little bits and pieces besides. Mostly it's going to be clearing trees down there so that we've got room for the new animal pens. We want a cattle pen down there, and we're going to want a big pen. We were going to be doing it up the top, but we've since decided against that. We're now going to be putting them all over there, all the 4 animal pens together over there. Possibly, if we are able to, we will expand the sheep a bit so that we've got 2 sheep pens, and we will be able to get even more wool coming out of them. It's not a priority, though. It's not a priority. The money, mostly, I want to keep that back now and focus on building up the cattle and the pigs, because we want to get those numbers up. We want to be able to get the money from it. You helper. Oh, that's. I was going to say that it's still moving over there. It's helper B is the combine. So if he's finished his task, I need to move that combine away from here. I'm just going to go over there. I'm going to gather up these little tiny bits. They're just along the end of the rows, like that. And then I'm going to turn like that. I'm going to knock that road sign over. And then I'm going to come back out this way. And I'm going to head down that row there. But what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to stop right there, and I'm going to go to the combine. And I'm going to race you across the field. You've only got 800 litres on board, so it's not very much. I'm going to race you across the field over here. And I'm going to get you over to the pit over there, and I'm going to unload. I'm actually going to go in behind this tractor, like this. He's going to make his turn. And then you can come out there. And we've got a wheat harvest all now complete. So we'll see how much wheat we've got. We'll just let that 800 litres go in there. That's just topping up the last of it. And we have got 63,454 litres of wheat in there. So we'll be planting oats next so that we can sell all of the oats that we've got. Wool right now is 756 at a low point. Silage is now starting to climb, so we will need to be selling silage at some point, but we're not going to be selling it yet. You come over here. I've got a little scrap of straw left there. There's another little scrap of straw over by the pressure washer. Seems to be when you stop. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring this one over to here, like this. I'm going to turn that engine off, like that. Because it always seems to be when you stop. And then I start up again. Right, no, it's not done it there. But there is a little bit of straw right there. So I want to get that with the baler, along with some of the other stuff that I want to get. There's a couple of other patches that I want to get with the baler. I'll close that lid down. And then we will go back through here, and we will keep going with the baler. So that tractor, is he going to turn around and go back up to the other bit? I think he is, actually. Nice! He's reversing all the way up across the field there, and doing a pretty good job of it, too. I want to catch this one like this. There. I'm going to use that as our screenshot. Right there. Okay. Well, I think I'll be using that as a screenshot. You'll know before I do, actually. technically, I'll know before you do, but at the same time, right now, when you're watching this, you will already know, whereas I don't know yet. And yeah, it's the whole time warp thing. Alright? We're constantly doing the time warp when we're playing this game. There's all these little things that come up that you actually know before I do, but I know before you do. And it's quantum physics. That's basically what we're dealing with. The life of the YouTuber is coping with quantum physics on a daily basis. And unless you really focus, you could let it take control of you and cause all manner of problems. Fortunately, I'm able to cope with it, he says, as he listens to many of the voices in his head, and he sits here in a darkened room talking to himself. Yeah, just ignore the fact that I am sitting in a darkened room talking to myself, and pretend that I'm actually talking to everybody that is currently watching this video. I cannot list you all by name, but I know that there are a few of you, and for that I am eternally grateful. Now, whiz. I was going to say whiz and wing, and I think I sort of say wings, whizzing, something like that. I'm now doing this on 4K, right? I've got a 4K screen right in front of me, and the detail I can see is absolutely incredible. So I don't know if it's increased the detail that you can watch it in on just like a normal screen, but this, like, for me, it is absolutely amazing. It really is. I didn't think that there was much of a difference between HD and what is it, Ultra HD, the 1920 by 1080 anyway, and then up to 4K. I didn't think that there was much of a difference, much of a jump between the two, but turns out there is. Like, the level of detail that I am picking up on it is quite remarkable. And also I now notice, like, I remember the jump going from 480 when all your monitors were in 480, and even before that in 360. Right, I remember going from 360 to 480 and thinking that was quite an improvement and quite remarkable detail. And then the first HD came out, which was 720p. And I remember the first HD coming out, and me and several of my friends having the inevitable discussion, it's just not worth it. It's just not worth paying out the kind of money for a 720 monitor, because you can't really tell the difference. And you couldn't really tell the difference because the monitors were really small. And that's the big difference, is I tried to get a monitor that was the same size as the ones that I have at the moment. I've got two 22-inch monitors and a 24-inch monitor. I had three 22-inch monitors, and a 24-inch monitor that I did my gaming on in HD, in 1080. The new one that I've got is a 27-inch monitor. There was one 4K monitor available at 24 inches, but it cost more than this one now at 27 inches. So I thought, all right, well, I'll go with the 27. Also, the 27 had better reviews and was generally thought of as being better for gaming, and it was just better all round. So I went with this one. And I know that a 27-inch monitor in HD does give some quality, but it's not the level of quality that you get in HD on a 22-inch monitor. If you have a 22-inch monitor, it looks really crisp and clear. If you go up to a 27 to 30-inch monitor, it's no longer crisp and clear. It's still pretty clear. It is still pretty, reasonably crisp and clear, and it looks pretty nice, but it's not as crisp as it is on a smaller monitor. So the slightly bigger monitor, that's what makes the difference. And I thought that a 27-inch screen would be too big for me. The reason that I've never gone any bigger than a 24-inch monitor and is because I don't want them any bigger than that. Like, when I'm gaming, I don't want a 30-inch screen or a 36-inch screen, because you're forever turning your head from one side of the screen to the other. I don't like that. I like to have it where I can see it, and 22, 24 was about right. That fit me comfortably, and it was pleasant to look at, it was comfortable to look at, and it worked really well. So I never had any problems with that whatsoever. And now I've got this 27-inch screen. It's a little tiny bit further back from me on my desk than the previous ones were. And the biggest thing that I've noticed is, to start with, when you go into Windows, if you put your icons at 100% size, the same as you have on the HD screen, they are tiny. Like, literally, you got to pull out a magnifying glass to see them. You really do. They're the little tiny critters hidden in the corner, and you can barely make them out. And, this is with my glasses on. And it's ridiculous, but the recommended size for the icons is actually 150% scale, and that does bring it up a bit. But I found that was actually smaller icons than what I was used to. They took up less space on the screen. So I've bumped that up to 175%, and I can see the icons and everything much more clearer now, and it works. There's another little thing there, and it's a lot of little details like that. Like the desktop just sort of goes off forever because you've got all this extra space. It's not like a huge amount of extra screen, but because you've got so many extra pixels, it does like show up as a tiny little bit difference. I know I don't really need to worry about that bit, but the fact that I've just gone past it and then thought about it means that I have to go and get it, and I have just picked it up by going backwards over it, so it's okay. There's a little tiny bit right there that I needed to get. So I'm noticing little details, and then I get into the game. I don't think this game is showing any extra on the screen. I don't think we've got any extra stuff being shown on the screen. And the icons and everything look to be about the same size. It's all sort of scaled. I don't believe I'm getting additional stuff coming up on the screen. Like, I don't think I'm getting extra capacity for anything at all anywhere. And it's all about the same. It's just that the level of detail that is being shown is considerably higher. And my one concern with this, because I've not tested rendering anything yet, is that it's going to result in compression artifacts. More so than I've had previously. And that's the one downside with digital stuff, is the compression artifacts, which is the blocky appearance at times when there's a lot of detail on the screen. I'm hoping that won't be the case. The editor that I use is supposed to be capable of editing properly in 4K, so hopefully that won't come up. It's about my biggest concern at the moment. Some of the games I've noticed they show a lot more, like World of Warcraft. When I go onto there, the icons and everything on the screen, they take up a lot less space. So you really do notice that you're using a 4K screen with World of Warcraft. Like it's really obvious that that's what you're doing. You are using it's loud and clear from the moment you turn it on. This is a 4K screen. The icons are completely different. The bag sizes are all completely different. Everything is different to what it was. Unfortunately, I recorded World of Warcraft yesterday with my usual recording session, and it didn't work. I had a horrible malfunction, possibly because the file size was too big or something, and I should have paused recording and broken the file size up a bit or something like that. But for whatever reason, it didn't work properly. It recorded the mouse movements and nothing else. And also, weirdly, it didn't just record mouse movements. It remembered the mouse movement. So every time I moved the mouse, it would leave a picture of the mouse on the screen. So I had like an hour and 45 minutes of just this mouse image slowly, completely covering the entire screen and not doing anything else. It was really weird. It was genuinely really weird. I've never seen anything like that before. And it was also incredibly frustrating because it means that everything I did on there was completely wasted. So I've now got to go and do that again. That's the whole lifestyle of the YouTuber, is that things do not always go to plan. And if anybody tells you that it does go perfectly and the YouTuber lifestyle is without hiccup, they are lying to you. They are lying, right? So yeah, that was yesterday, but I did see some. I meant to come over and I'm going to do that right now, otherwise I'm going to forget it. And it's going to bug me because I've been looking at that. I've been seeing that little bit there, and then there's another bit under the combine. I need to gather it up. It's got to be done. So I'm going to need to move that combine so that... Well, actually, I don't need to move the combine because I will hopefully remember because I will see it. But I do want to go and get the bit over here. So we'll unfold that, and I will go and get this bit over here just while we remember. Start the baler up. And then come over here like this. Lower it down, and there. 2 litres of straw. We're laid out on the floor right there. Let's leave it unfolded like that, so that hopefully I'm less likely to forget what I'm supposed to do, which is gather up the straw in front of the combine. Now I can go and I can get the seed drill on. And I will get the seed drill hooked on, and then we can head over to the field and we can make a start on planting the field up there. So we will skid in round there like a lunatic, and then back up here, and we will grab that. I got half full of seeds, so I want to go and just top up the seed on here. So I'll open that one up. And we're not planting wheat. We're absolutely not planting wheat. Barley, oats, canola, soybeans, oilseed radish. Grass is the one that we want. So we bring you over here. I will also top up the fuel while I'm at it. As I'm here, I can top up the fuel as well. There we go. There's that one topped up. And close that one over. And then go over to here, and we will fill up the fuel. I've had people tell me that it is dangerous to refuel your tractor whilst you leave the engine running. This is a common myth that I have heard. It's not actually dangerous to refuel diesel while the engine is running. Petrol can be. Petrol is explosive, though. Diesel is not. Diesel explodes under pressure. Petrol will explode with just a source of ignition. Diesel won't explode with just a source of ignition. So if I was to take a lit match and drop it into the top of a large tank of petrol, it would go kaboom. If I was to take the same match and drop it into a tank of diesel, it would do nothing apart from put the match out. The match would just sizzle out, and that would be it. Right? There would be nothing else that would happen. That would be the sole reaction of what would happen if you drop a lit match into a tank full of diesel. It just goes out, right? Diesel doesn't burn like that. Diesel needs something to burn. The way a diesel engine works is it compresses. Diesel engine is far more robust than a petrol engine, because a petrol engine burns and pushes it down evenly, whereas a diesel engine compresses the diesel to such a point that it ignites under pressure and explodes and pushes it down, which is why a diesel engine is more robust, and a diesel engine is typically more noisy as well. It's much louder because it's a series of explosions rather than a series of controlled burns. And so if your engine is running and you're putting diesel into the fuel, it's not going to do anything. Right? It's not going to ignite. It can't catch fire. You can just leave the engine running. It's absolutely fine. And you can probably leave the engine running with petrol, but petrol does ignite with a source of ignition. It doesn't take much to get petrol to actually catch on fire. So yeah, with petrol, it's a good idea to turn the engine off, because fumes from petrol are highly flammable, whereas fumes from diesel are not. And that's the big difference between the two, is mostly down to the fumes. The fumes that the petrol give off, they explode. If you pour a bit of petrol out onto concrete on the floor or something like that, and then chuck a lit match on it, it will go whoomph, right? It will properly go up, whoosh. Whereas diesel doesn't do that. Diesel will just sit there and look at you. It's like, dude, seriously? You tipped me out for this? I'm not a performing monkey. Go and find someone else to do it. And it won't ignite. It just won't. If you've got something soaked in diesel, say some rags or something like that, and you can get them burning, then yeah, they will burn. But they need something to sort of latch onto to keep burning. And it won't just do it on its own. Right? The diesel won't just burn on its own. Unless you can... I think then maybe there's like an ignition point with temperature or something. So maybe there is a way to do it if you can heat it up enough, but yeah, you're not really going to worry about that. Now I'm going to pull this one down here, and I'm going to do that again, just over this side so that we make sure that we've... I mean, I've definitely got the overlap on there, but I just want to make sure that I've got everything. And also, surprisingly, I'm drilling over this. It's not actually drilling the grass again. It's leaving the grass where it is. So I can... Oh. It's not drilling the grass again because I'm... Yeah, okay. Boy, is my face red. I wasn't drilling the grass again because I didn't have the seed drill turned on. That probably would have helped. So I'll go back over and I'll do that again. I thought that it wasn't drilling the grass again because I've already drilled the grass there. But no, it's not that. It's because I didn't have the thing switched on. So we're giving this quite a big overlap. Yes, I know I'm giving it a big overlap, but I'm doing that for a very specific reason. Because I want to make absolutely certain that I have got every single little speck with grass on it. Then I will come up over here like that and lift. Bring that round like this. There we go. Right, now we can start up on this side. And just get that. So then I'll go back over there and we will run one pass all the way down the side of the field. Well, not all the way. I go... Actually, you know, I'll do one pass all the way down the side of the field. And then once I've done that bit, I will go back part way up the hill and we'll do that little strip across the middle of this field that didn't get done. And then when we've done that, we can carry on around the outside edge of this field. And I want to do 2 passes around the outside edge before I set the hired help just working along doing the land work in the middle of the field. Did I? I did. I keep doing that. I keep switching the drill off and then lowering it down and then not drilling. It's not very helpful. Right. Back to there and then one little bit over here. Let's turn. And it's about there. Like that. Right. That is everything definitely done on that bit right there. Now I will come over here, just in case there is any bits on the edge here, and I'm going to start it all the way back over there, way further back than I actually need to. And I'm going to run with the wheel right on the edge of the field like that. All the way along here. Somewhere in there, I am convinced there is a tree stump. Quite where that tree stump is, I don't know. I mean, it might be this great big boulder that is doing that. There is always the possibility that that is the one that is causing the issue, and that it is, in fact, a much bigger boulder underneath the ground. And if that's the case, then there isn't anything that we can do about it. We just got to leave it and let the hired help kind of work around that in the future. So like I said, I'll run here and I will go all the way down to the bottom end of the field and then I'll come back up again. And what I'm actually thinking is I could do a couple of passes on this right now. I could do, say, 3 or 4 passes up and down the field. And then I've only got to go like along the bottom. I'll do that maybe one. I mean, I don't need to do it any more than... I suppose we could do it twice. But I'm going to do it here. I'm going to go up here and then I will end up coming back down... all the way back down again, because I've got that big stone over there. Going up and down this hill is something that we generally want to avoid, because it's really making the tractor struggle to get up the hill at all. So if we're just going side to side, working our way across, that's going to be a lot better. That's going to work out a lot easier for us. The other bit was the tree stumps, wasn't it? I've dug those out. We dug out tree stumps over there. We dug out other tree stumps. So there might be one underneath where that stone is. Like to avoid digging that one out if at all possible. But I mean, if I can't, I can't. We will do something to make sure that we get the thing. Now I'm going to come along here. Plant all of this bit in. And I get up to the very far end, and then I will hoik it out and spin round it, and I will do exactly the same down the other side. So we do a double pass on this. Probably would have been able to span that width with a single pass, but it's not something that I want to risk. I'd rather just go over a little bit extra, because it's not going to make any big difference to us, is it? The amount of seed that we're going to use by just doing that little bit extra is not going to make any difference, and it's not like it really matters if the crop gets... dug up just a little bit, because in the grand scheme of things, I'm not going to be coming in here with a mower until all of it is at the same stage of growth. So the big bit over there, I'm going to wait until that reaches maximum maturity alongside this bit over here that is already planted. So it's not going to make any difference to anything whatsoever. Now I go up here, and we will carry on going up the fields. Then I will about face, and I will go back down the field. And I think what I'll do then is, once I've done the about face and I go back down the field, that's when I will go all the way round the field once more. So I do a second pass. So most of it will already have a second pass. There is a bit there that I want to redo. Bring you out over here like this. And then back you round like that. So there's a little bit right there. Where the front wheel is right now, there's a bit right there. If I stop there like that, that should make sure that I get all of it. And then I've also got to make sure that I get in tight enough on this so that I do plant all of the grass all the way through. And then we go along here. We do exactly the same. There, right in tight like that. And then I've got just a little bit more tidy up here before I go. Yeah, see, just that little tiny triangle bit there. If I do a tidy up on that, like this, and then I can back up again and then take another line off of it. Back you up to about there like that. And I've run out of time for today's episode, so I'm just going to bring that one up to there like that, and then we will back up and we will carry on and do some more. In the future, we won't be taking this much care with anything. We're just kind of like, well, kind of like we've done there. Like there will be bits that end up getting left behind, and it's not perfect, but it's yeah, kind of it's not perfect, but it'll do approach is I think what we'll end up doing. You go all the way up to here. So again, like, it's not that steep, but it's still struggling with it, isn't it? It does really seem to struggle here in places. Well, mind you, the tractor's not that strong, is it? But anyway, I have run out of time, so let me just turn this one around and we will start heading back down the hill, and then we can say fairly well, and we will carry on with this tomorrow. I will finish going round the edge of this field tomorrow, and then we can leave the hired help working up here in this field while we head down there and we start dealing with the straw. We've also got to wrap up all of the silage that we've made, so there's another little bit that we've got to work on. And then when all of that is done, hopefully the grass will have been planted at the same time. And then the only other thing that we've got left to do is plant the oats in the field down the bottom. But anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.